of the Committee on Sports is hereby called to order. Before we start, let me acknowledge the presence of later joining yung ating mga senador. Today we have on our agenda the bill institutionalizing the Philippine National Games and the bills upgrading the incentives of para-athletes who won medals in prestigious international competitions. Excuse me lang, bumababa tong upuan ko. May we now request the committee secretary to acknowledge the resource persons who are with us today, Mr. Comsec.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. For this public hearing of the Committee on Sports regarding the institutionalization of the Philippine National Games and the upgrading of the incentives for para-athletes, we have the following resource persons. From the Philippine Sports Commission, we have the chairman, Mr. Richard E. Bachman, together with Mr. Paulo Francisco Tatad, the Executive Director, Attorney Guillermo Iroy, the Deputy Executive Director, and Dr. Lauro Domingo Jr., the Chief Program Research and Development Division. From the Philippine Olympic Committee, we have Mr. Carl Zambrano, the Deputy Director General. From the Department of Budget and Management, we have Ms. Nihal C. Abdul Rauf Pakalna, the Acting Division Chief from DBM, with Ms. Mary Grace Datuwin. From the Philippine Paralympic Committee, we have Mr. Michael Barreto, the President, together with Mr. Godofredo Custodio, Secretary General, Ms. Judith Barrientos, and our para-athletes, Mr. Randy Magkawas for athletics, Mr. Ray Chris Kapispisan for athletics also, Mr. Armand Dino, athletics, Mr. King James Reyes, athletics, Mr. Jolan Camacho, athletics, Mr. Ernie Gawilan for swimming, Mr. Roland Sabido, swimming also, Miss Angel May Autumn, swimming, Mr. Muhaymin Ulag for swimming also, and Mr. Ariel Joseph Alegarbes, also swimming. From the Department of Education, we have Mr. Cesar Abalon, the Chief Education Program Specialist under the School Sports Division, and Mr. Gilbert Remy Laksina, the DepEd DLLO. For ULAP, we have Mr. Rudy Bourbon as observer. And Mr. Chair, I'm sorry to say that the core regrets because they have a House of Representatives. They have a budget hearing at the House of Representatives, Mr. Chair. That would be all.
Salamat, Comsec. Before we start the discussion, let me first give my brief opening remarks. Article 14, Section 19 of the 1987 Constitution mandates the state to promote physical education and encourage sports program, league competitions, and amateur sports, including training for international competitions to foster self-discipline, teamwork, and excellence for the development of a healthy and alert citizenry. In view of this mandate, the state also endeavored to develop programs and trainings that will encourage its citizens to participate in sports and other physical fitness programs. Last Congress, in our effort to execute this mandate, we passed Republic Act 11470, spearheaded by Senator Win Gatchalian as the chairman of the Committee on Basic Education. This law establishes the National Academy of Sports for deserving student athletes who want to pursue sports training while also focusing on their education. Pwede silang mag-training, at the same time, pwede po silang mag-aral, pwede silang mag-aral, at the same time, mag-training. Wala pong nasa sakripisyo. We also have sponsored the increase in the budget of the Philippine Sports Commission with the support of our chairman of the Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Angara, for the promotion of grassroots sports development and the preparation and participation of our national athletes to international sports competitions. Lahat ating inisyatibo ay nakalinya sa ating pag-inganyo sa mga kabataan na to get into sports, stay away from drugs. Isa po ito sa pamamaraan na mainganyo natin sila and to keep us healthy and fit. As we continue our efforts to promote sports, we need to provide a structure for a truly integrated and comprehensive national sports program, linking grassroots sports promotion, elite sports development, and encourage all local government officials to promote the development of sports in the countryside, covering all barangays, towns, municipalities, cities, and provinces. The Philippine National Games Bill seeks to institutionalize a truly comprehensive grassroots sports program that will harness the vast potentials of Filipinos in discovering and developing champion athletes who could excel in international sports competitions. The institutionalization of the Philippine National Games, we can scout potential athletes in various sports who could form part of our national pool of athletes. The bill also encourages and assists various national sports association in promoting their respective sports at the grassroots level, providing the necessary linkages with local government units. Maganda po kung may isang batas ito para magkaroon ng kompetisyon na magiging plataforma ng aspiring national athletes at masiguro natin ang pagbibigay po ng priority ng gobyerno sa kompetisyon na ito. Marami pong madidiscover dito usually po sa Philippine National Games. Sa pagtatag natin ng Philippine National Games, itinataguyod natin ang pagpapalakas ng ating grassroots sports programs, pagpapalad ng ating physical education, at ang paghubog ng mga kabataan sa maaaring magbigay ng karangalan sa ating bansa. We will also discuss today the bills upgrading the incentives of para-athletes who win medals in major international competitions. Through the years, we have witnessed how the Filipino athletes stand out in various international sports competitions such as the Southeast Asian Games, the Asian Games, Para Games, World Championships, and Olympics. The accomplishments of our athletes have inspired and brought pride to the Filipino people, demonstrating that we can excel in sports with hard work, perseverance, and determination. Republic Act number 10699 was enacted to expand the coverage of incentives granted to national athletes and coaches. This is to recognize their contribution in Philippine sports and for bringing pride and honor to the country. However, under the law, athletes, which is practiced by athletes with disability, is not recognized on the same footing as other international competitions. The proposed measures seeks to upgrade the incentives for para-athletes to be at par with other international competitions of the same caliber. This bill intends to provide equal opportunities and recognition to all athletes, thereby promoting inclusivity and diversity in sports. Pinagpaguran rin po ng ating mga atleta yan, the same honor na dinadala po sa ating bansa, the same medal, at hindi porket disabled sila, ay iba po ang kanilang natatanggap na incentives. Dahil the same honor, the same pagod rin po ang ginawa nila para sa ating bayan. Hindi naman po kasalanan ng iba sa kanila na pinanganak po na may kapansanan, ay dapat po bigyan natin sila ng honor din po, the same as ito sa ating ibang atleta. It is my hope that these bills would be supported by our colleagues here in the Senate. Again, investing in sports will not only enable us to develop world-class athletes, but it will also help us in keeping our youth away from illegal drugs and other harmful vices. Sa pamamagitan ng mga panukalang ito, may papakita po natin ang ating dedikasyon at pagtutok sa pagbuo ng mas magandang kinabukasan para sa ating mga kabataan. Maraming salamat po. We recognize the presence of our minority leader, Senator Coco Pimentel. Do you have any opening statement?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for inviting me. At kung ganito yung ating agenda, full support po tayo rito at totoo pala yun na sa ngayon ang incentives pala natin for our ano tawag mo dito para athletes or athletes with disabilities hindi at par with the incentives for the our athletes without disabilities. And yet, syempre, from their point of view, the competition is as tough as the Olympics or the norm. Let's say, lagay ko na lang sa quotation marks, the normal sports competition. So, ako'y nagugulat, ganito pala ang ating present case, and we have to correct this present state of affairs. And then I'd like to greet Mr. Baredo, Mike Baredo. He cannot see me right now, pero kaibigan ko po yan sa JC's period. So Mike, I'm here. Si Coco ito.
Salamat, Senator Coco, our minority floor leader. Even our minority ay sumusuporta. Magandang indikasyon po yan dahil naintindihan po natin ang ating mga atleta na kahit na po may kapansanan sila ay pinaghirapan rin po nila. Pumunta naman po sila sa ibang bansa, nakipag-compete doon, and they brought honor to our country. Let us start with the Senate Bill 423 filed by this representation, which seeks to establish the Philippine National Games. May we hear the position or representation of the Philippine Sports Commission?
Good afternoon po, Senator Bongo and Senator Pimentel. In Philippine National Games. Philippine National Games. Okay. Philippine National Games was declared as a centerpiece sports program through Executive Order number 163 in 1994 for the purpose of addressing the need of a truly comprehensive sports development program, generating sports activities in the countryside and harnessing the full potential of athletes for athletes' excellence. Objectives of the PNG is to provide a competition program platform for 18 years old and above, to encourage all local government executives to invest in the development and sports and generate sports activities within the respective areas. Number 3, to serve as a selection ground for potential national athletes eventually to compete in international competitions such as Southeast Asian Games, Asian Games, Olympic Games, and other major international sports competitions. We haven't had a PNG in 5 years. So this year, we will be actually launching a national PNG and a national Batang Pinoy this December.
Sisingit ko lang po, bakit po walang PNG for the last 5 years?
Due to the pandemic po also natigil. So we will launch it
When was the last time na nagkaroon tayo ng PNG?
2018 po.
2018.
Yes.
So 19, wala. Dahil every 2 years po siya, no?
Yeah.
Am I correct? Okay.
Yeah. So this December 16 to the 22nd, we'll launch the national PNG and a national Batang Pinoy sabay na. So we cover all ages, 18 above for
and below. And then ito 18 and above. But it's the same, no? The same sports
Yeah.
events, the same competition. Pero ang pinagkaiba lang is
The age category po.
Yun lang pinaghiwalay natin sila because of the age lang.
Yeah.
But the same, kaya sila, ang host is the Philippine sports. I mean, the organizing
Is the PSD.
office is the
PNG po and the Batang Pinoy is the grassroots events of the PSC, the major grassroots events of the PSC.
dalawa.
Yeah.
Ay, the Palangong Pambansa is with the DepEd.
DepEd po.
Okay.
Okay. PNG representation and eligibility. Representation is by LGU. So we give the chance for the LGU to choose their athletes to join. And if meron din sports clubs in the LGU, and if we also help these clubs and coordinate with the LGU, kung pwede sumali sa PNG. Okay? It has to be Filipino citizen or a Philippine passport holder is eligible to join.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
pwede po bang magtanong?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, Bong.
Mr. Chairman, si Chairman na. Chairman,
Because I'll be leaving soon kasi may meeting ako 1 p.m. Na tinawag lang ako ni Bong for a very important agenda kasi kita sa closing of the Palarong Pambansa. You were there, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Bachman. Okay, so itong atin ay may 17 and below and then may 18 and above. Ang Palarong Pambansa, DepEd, nandito yata si Mr. Laksina, DepEd. Yeah, Mr. Bachman, anong age?
18 below.
18 below. So, sana we can, either standardize the cut-off age para it makes sense. Is the best, and then, napansin nyo ba na yung sa 17 and below, ang participants ba doon, dito ay, yun din most, ang participants pa natin sa Palarong Pambansa?
Yeah. Dati po, the age cut-off, yung PNG was 18 above, and then the Batang Pinoy was 15 and below. So may gap na 16 and 17 years old. So sayang naman yung mga, pwede possible atleta din naman yun eh. So for this year, we said na baka include na lang, and we will talk to each NSA kung paano na i-distribute yung mga 16 to 17 years old.
Okay na yun. You're fixing the cut-off age within your system.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's another system na, di Palarong Pambansa. Iba naman ang cut-off age. Why can we not make that cut-off age a subset of your bigger games? Bigger games ka actually, kung tutuusin eh.
So that's possible.
Your subset it must make sense. Dapat kamatch so that, yung champion, it's the best below 18 or 18 and below athlete. 18 and below, sir, Mr. Abalon, okay.
That's possible.
So that was-
Pag-uusap na lang kami ng DepEd to standardize everything po.
Yes, I think that's within your control eh. Kasi the bill, we can fix the bill so that maging
Correct.
maging at that was a successful Palarong Pambansa hosted by Marikina, Mr. Abalon. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Andun ako, masaya pati ang mga taga Marikina and the chairman was there. Wala kayong role doon sa Palarong Pambansa, Mr. Chairman?
We provided the equipment po and any
Equipment.
technical know-how they would for the technical referees, mga ganun.
The same. You will now use dito sa mga Philippine National
Yeah,
Games.
and more, we have more
Okay.
control in the PNG and the Batang Pinoy po.
Okay, but ano yun? Nakita ko yung mga events mo parang konti. Mas maraming events doon sa Larong Pambansa, Mr. Chairman. Kasi yung mga number of medals na inaward doon, 8 Metro Manila is overall champion, 85 something, 85
It's
gold medals.
almost the same po. Yung
Almost the same.
number of
Sige.
sports.
Just
For budget constraints this year, we didn't want to focus on the team sports dahil it'll eat up all the budget.
Difference, okay.
So a few team
Correct, I
sports and
understand.
then individual.
Ayun, so yun pala Mr. Chairman, nakikita ko, dinidifferentiate ko lang kasi nga yung gastos, alam ko may ano tayo sa budget, pero yeah.
I think one thing we can actually coordinate with DepEd is to actually get the NSAs involved. Kasi it's hard na if we have grassroots from DepEd and ARS na wala naman NSA na nanonood, sayang lang yung mga performance ng mga bata. So I'm trying to work with the NSAs and DepEd and PSC. Kung may mga events, dapat lahat sama-sama tulungan lang to actually pinpoint kung sino mga atleta can actually be part of the national team later on.
Go ahead, Mr. President.
Yes, I'd like to take advantage while Senator Coco Pimentel is still around. In the same manner, I'd just like to input the fact that we would also, in the spirit of inclusion, equality, and sports for all, that there should be an institutionalization as well of the Paragames. The national Paragames, what we have been doing as well, although broken sometimes because of lack of funding. The last one we had was in Malolos, Bulacan in 2018, where we had over 1,000 plus athletes from all over, para-athletes, no? From like the 18 then. And this is also where we get our grassroots, no? As a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman and Senators, we are already included in the Palarong Pambansa for several years now. They included us in their program for the Palarong Pambansa for students, no, with disabilities. So it's possible that we are included in this bill when it is passed into law. Section, I think, 6 and 10 of 423 bill is to include us in the interagency committee so that we can be part of it, though we may have separate schedules and venues if necessary, if the venues are not accessible. So I'm hoping that the Sports Commission will allow us to take part, at least before the bill is passed into law or passes this committee, na may sama na rin kami. We've been taking the initiative and we're given assistance by the Sports Commission to conduct the games ourselves.
Chairman Bachman, hindi ba sila kasama ngayon sa present setup po ng Philippine National Games?
Same thing with in sa last 2018. Pwede naman isama naman. Walang problema sila.
So 2018, hindi po sila.
Yes. Kasama kayo. Kasama. Iwalay pa rin.
Actually, Senator Coco, sa budget po ng PSC nung from NEP, no? Tayo po ang tumulong dito sa Senado na malagyan sila ng 70 million para po sa kanilang hosting nitong Philippine National Games. At ako po sang-ayon na ma-institutionalize ito, may batas po ito dahil dito talaga karamihan na didiscovery yung mga atletang hindi na didiscovery na sa malalayong lugar. May mga potential athletes tayo sa Mindanao, sa Visayas, far-flung areas na hindi man lang na didiscovery. Dito sila nakikita yung galing nila. So ako po full support dito sa ating Philippine National Games kung sakaling maisabatas ito sa tulong ng mga kasama natin sa Senado. It's one way po na ilayo natin ang mga kabataan sa illegal na droga. Isa po ito na talagang ma-encourage natin sila to get into sports and stay away from drugs and to keep us healthy and fit and disiplinado tayo. So muli, full support po ako dito sa Philippine National Games even during the budget deliberation until dito po sa ating pagtatalakay na maisabatas po ito, ma-institutionalize po ito. And going back to our President, no, si Sir Michael Barredo, kaibigan ni Senator Coco, suportado ko rin po talaga itong pagbibigay po ng incentives na pareho po para dito sa ating mga ibang atleta. Sabi ko nga, mahirap po maging disabled. Yung iba sa inyo nawawalan ng pag-asa. Pero with this, bigyan natin ng pag-asa ang ating mga disabled na pantay-pantay tayo dito sa mundong ito. Pantay-pantay sa incentives, pantay-pantay sa honor, at pantay-pantay na dahil kay mga tao at Pilipino lahat. So sana po'y makuha natin ang suporta ng mga kasamahan ko rito sa Senado. Anyway, Chairman Bachman, go ahead po with your presentation.
Salamat po. We'll just show you now the calendar for 2024 for Batang Pinoy Luzon Games, June 30 to July 6, 2024. for Visayas Games, July 14 to July 20, 2024. Mindanao Games, July 28 to August 3, 2024. And National Batang Pinoy, August 18 to 23, 2024. And again, Philippine National Games, PNG National, August 11 to 16. I think nag-uusap kami ni Mike Beredo a while ago and bakas pwede na sumali yung para next year. Yeah. Okay. What's that?
Recommendations. Thanks for the consideration.
Recommendations for Bill number 423 include a provision section that creates Philippine National Games Board, which shall act as a support system of the PSC with the following representations: PSC Chairman as the Chairperson of the Board, DILG, Undersecretary in charge of Sports as the Vice Chairman, Chairperson, DepEd and CHED as members, POC as member private sports organization. And if para will be included, then Mike Barredo be part also as a member. Include a provision with the following stipulation. Sports, the PNG board shall identify and decide on the sports to be played based on the appropriated funding and given priority to the Southeast Asian Games, and Olympic Games sports. It is also recommended for the conduct of a biennial PNG to specify under Section 9 of Appropriations the allocation in General Appropriations Act amounting to 75 million for the pre-PNG year and 150 million for the PNG year. That's all. Yes, that's all for PNG.
Salamat, Chairman. Ito pong for this year, di ba naglagay po tayo ng 70 million under the PSC for the Philippine National Games. What is the status of the utilization of the budget and then since Manila po ang napili ng mag-host, no? Paano nyo po nadidetermine yung sino mag-host? How is the hosting determined?
For this year, since we have, so I'm the new chairman and we have new commissioners, we decided to actually relaunch the PNG and Metro Manila host. And then for next year's PNG, it will go through a selection process po. And if we will have a new board in the PNG, then we will also have the selection by using the members of the board. And then where's the what's this?
Sports inclusion.
Yes, play. In monetary, in peso, how much? Yeah, the budget for the PNG 70 million. We'll be using it for this December. And then the bottom Pinoy is how much?
Which year the
70 million, dalawa?
$1 million
90. And for the total for PNG and Batang Pinoy, a total of 90 million will be used for PNG and Batang Pinoy for this year.
How can we encourage the participation of all provinces dito po sa PNG natin kung sakasakaling ma-institutionalize po ito na hindi masayang, hindi maging failure po?
We are in the process of a DILG order po for all LGUs to participate. And we are also talking to all NSAs.
So very important po ang DILG dito.
Yes po.
So walang DILG dito? Wala. DILG, walang representative, COMSEC? Busy yata sila sa hearing sa House.
Sentro ba ito ngayon? Ano po sila karamihan?
Okay. So kulang tayo. Very important dito ang DILG rin.
Yeah. Sumulot na kami 2 weeks ago, and then we'll just follow up on the letter po.
Thank you. May we hear the position of Philippine Olympic Committee, DepSec General Carl Zambrano.
Happy Monday po, Senator Bongo, Mr. Chairman. To everyone in the room, good morning. I'm representing the Philippine Olympic Committee. I just want to be corrected that I'm not the Deputy Director of the Deputy Secretary General. Allow me to read the wisdom of the POC. I think we just submitted our position paper to the email of this office. On Senate Bill 423, the Philippine National Games, played under the auspices of the Philippine Sports Commission, had been ongoing, and it has proven to be the breeding ground of the future Filipino athletes. The institutionalization of the game is overdue, and we are full support of this bill, Mr. Chairman. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Salamat DepSec Gen ng POC.
Chairman, I'm also the president of skateboarding, and this is wearing my skateboarding president hat, not as a POC. I fully support this because if you look at the Tokyo Olympics, yung mga gold medalists, silver medalists po sa skateboarding, they're all under 13 years old. So with this competition, baka makahanap po tayo ng gold medalist na skateboarder din po kung ganyan age group po na mababa. Thank you po, and yun lang po. Happy afternoon.
Salamat Carl Zambrano. Go ahead, President Michael Barredo.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to clarify if the chairman of the Philippine Sports Commission and the committee is clear that we would be, or we can be part of the to institutionalize the national games, to include the national para games, as well as in the programs and plans of the commission, and of course to be part of the interagency committee that will be planning this ahead. I just wanted to clarify.
Chairman Bachman.
Yes, sir. You will be included also. And
Salamat. May we now hear the position of the DepEd?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The position of the Department of Education with regards to the proposed bill. Basically, the Philippine National Games is being organized, managed, and funded by the Philippine Sports Commission since its inception in the early years of 1990s. PNG is an open competition whereby those who are athletically talented, individual regardless of age, can participate in this competition. Even those who are presently members of the national team, as I understood, are allowed to compete in these chosen sports. Representation of the athlete to the PNG is through the local government units. Section 6 of the proposed bill, roles of concerned agencies, number 5 local government unit, and section 7 of the local sports council of the proposed bill explicitly state the function, role, and responsibilities of the local government unit. The Palambansa, however, are limited only to those learners, athletes who is currently enrolled in basic education not more than 18 years of age. Kanina po, na-mention po ni Senator Coco na I think I heard it right na if I heard it right, 18 din po ang PNG and above. So meron po tayong intersection on 18. Kasi ang 18 years old namin po, Mr. Chair, grade 12 na po yun. Grade 12. The provisions of the proposed bill that has significant implication to the Department of Education as follows. Section 6 of number 3, Department of Education of the proposed bill states that has to be performed by the department. Number 1, to align the Palarong Pambansa calendar of activities, programs, and policies to the conduct of the PNG. The Palarong Pambansa has its own board that decides the policies, programs, and calendars of activities. Pre-national Palarong Pambansa related activities such as lower meets, namely district, division, regional, or those activities which are categorized as co-curricular or extracurricular activities should be scheduled in a manner that classes are not hampered or disrupted. Thus, the National Panumpang is usually conducted at the end of school year or vacation period. Isa po sa polisiya po ng ngayon po na pinapatupad po ng DepEd ay no disruption class. As soon as possible, wala pong mahamper ang ating klase. So yun po yung number one ano po ng policy po ngayon ng DepEd. With regards to the use of school buildings and classrooms as billeting centers, as a matter of DepEd policy, we are now geared towards using these facilities on a limited basis. Kasi po, during the school calendar year, pag yun po yung ginagamit, may disruption din po of classes mangyayari. So as much as possible po, yung schedule natin sa PNG ay hindi po maapektuhan on the use of the school building as building facilities. Section 9, appropriations letter B or mention about special education fund as another source of funding the preparation, training, and participations of the athletes. Basically, SEF provides another source of funds to supplement the annual budgetary needs for the operation and maintenance of public schools within the province, city, or municipality through an annual SEF budget. The formulation, approval, and utilization of SEF budget lies on the responsibility of the individual local school board in each province, city, or municipality. The use of SEF is limited to the following: operation and maintenance of public schools, construction and repair of school building, facilities and equipment, educational research, purchase of books and periodicals, and school sports development. The Joint Circular Number 1 Series of 2017 entitled Devised Guidelines on the Use of Special Education Fund issued by the Department of Education, Department of Budget and Management, and Department of Interior and Local Government provides the policies and guidelines for the purpose and use of SEF. In summary, this office interposes no objection to passage of the proposed bill as proposed N8 Bill number 423. However, it is suggested special provisions on insurance coverage for athletes, especially those athletes who are in the basic education and 18 years old and below participating in the game, be in place. It is also suggested that in the drafting of the implementing rules and regulations, that shall be consulted when the welfare of each learner athletes, I emphasize learner athletes because some of the participants here in PNG ay Mr. Chairman, ay mga estudyante din, are in stake. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Salamat, Sir Cesar Abalon. May we now hear the position of DBM, Ms. Pacalna, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning as well to all the resource persons present. My name is Nihal Abdul Rauf Pacalna from the Department of Budget and Management, Budget Information Legislative Service. We actually support and recognize the objectives of the bill. Our comment is specific to Senate Bill number 423, particularly Section 9, Item B of the Appropriations Provision, where it says that LGU shall be authorized to appropriate at least 1% of their internal revenue allotment, which is now referred to as the national tax allotment. And if the need arises, charge the amounts necessary to their special activity fund or their special education fund. Further, all LGU shall also be allocated annually an additional national tax allotment shares equivalent to 1%. We respectfully note that we discourage earmarking of funds, considering that it restricts in as much as it restricts the flexibility of local government units in allocating their funds, and considering as well the principle of local fiscal autonomy of local government units. Further, allocating 1% further, Republic Act number 7160 or the Local Government Code provides the formula used in computing the national tax allotment shares of local government units, which is based on land, population, and equal sharing. Now, we deem that it may be incumbent to revisit the Local Government Code of 1991 if we are to allocate 1% additional 1% national tax allotment shares to LGUs concerned. As to the proposal earlier mentioned by the Philippine Sports Commission to have a Philippine National Games Board, we have no reservation to the proposal except perhaps for the committee to consider the ease of doing business law where it provided streamlining of processes. So kung wala namang magiging problema doon sa decision making, if the board will only add another layer which will hamper the processing or the decision making process, then we support the proposal. That would be all, Your Honor. Thank you.
Salamat, Ma'am Nial. May we now proceed to the next agenda? The incentives for para-athletes. We shall now discuss the bills providing additional incentives to athletes with disabilities who win medals in international competitions filed by Senator Jingo Estrada and this representation. Bakit hindi masyadong nabibigyan ng pansin ang para-games at para-athletes? What is the PSC doing to give equal importance to them? Gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, hindi naman po nila kasalanan kung ilan po sa kanila pinanganak silang may kapansanan. At sa pamamagitan po ng panukalang batas na ito, mabibigyan sila ng pag-asa, hindi po hadlang ang kapansanan para magdala ng karangalan para sa ating bansa. Pinaghirapan nila yan, the same honor po ang dala nila para sa ating bansa, sa ating bayan. May we hear the position or presentation of the Philippine Sports Commission? Before you start with your presentation, may tanong lang po ako, di ba ngayon ang ating incentives nakukuha niyo po sa PAGCOR?
Yes po.
Nagre-remit po sila sa inyo ng magkano po, ilang percent ng kanilang Section 12 of the Republic Act 10699 provides that the implementation of the cash incentives and retirement benefits under the Act shall be taken from the net cash income of the PAGCOR to be remitted directly as a special account to the National Sports Development Fund, NSDF, of the Philippine Sports Commission. This is in addition to the regular income share of the PSC pursuant to Republic Act 6847, while the funds will come from the PAGCOR, the Philippine Sports Commission, will be the one to disburse the incentives. Ibig sabihin nito, kayo po mag-determine kung paano nyo po i-disburse at ano po yung mga priorities nyo po dito mula sa National Sports Development Fund.
Okay, so in the presentation po, Republic Act number 10699, an act expanding the coverage of incentives granted to national athletes and coaches, appropriating funds, therefore repealing for the purpose Republic Act number 9064, also known as the National Athletes, Coaches, and Trainers Benefits and Incentives Act of 2001 or Sports Benefits and Incentives Act of 2001. Short title, this act should be known as the National Athletes and Coaches Benefits and Incentives Act. Section 2, Statement of Policy. The promotes excellence in sports by looking after the welfare of national athletes and coaches competing for the country, and by providing benefits and incentives for national athletes and other athletes who win in international sports competitions and bring honor and recognition to the country. Definition of terms. For purpose of this act, the following terms shall be defined as follows. Athletes with disabilities shall refer to persons with disabilities as defined under Republic Act number 7277, otherwise known as the Magna Carta to Disabled Persons, as amended, who are Filipino citizens recognized and accredited by the Philippine Sports Commission and the National Paralympic Committee of the Philippines, NPC, and who have represented the country. Where are we here now? Yeah. International sports competitions shall refer to international sports competitions under the following categories. Regular major competitions such as Summer Olympic Games, Winter Olympics, Games, Asian Games, Asian Winter Games, Southeast Asian Games, Youth Olympic Games, Paralympic Games, Asian Park Games, Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games, Asian Beach Games, and Association of the Southeast Asian Nation, ASEAN Para Games. World level championships held at least every 2 years with at least 45 countries participating by sport. Asian level competitions held at least 2 years with at least 25 countries participating by sport, and qualifying competitions for world-level games with at least 10 countries participating. Competitions granting prize money shall not be included. National athletes shall refer to athletes including persons with disabilities who are Filipino citizens, members of the National Training Pool, recognized and accredited by the Philippine Olympic Committee and the PSC, including athletes with disabilities who are recognized and accredited by the NPC Phil and the PSC who have represented the country in international sports competitions. And national coaches shall refer to coaches of national athletes who are Filipino citizens, members of the National Coaches Training Pool, recognized and accredited by the PSC and the POC, or the PSC and the NPC Phil, in the case of AWD coaches who have represented the country as official coaches to national teams in international sports competition. I'll go straight already to the cash incentives for athletes in individual events. The cash incentive for individual athletes are as follows. Summer and Winter Olympics, 10 million for gold, 5 million for silver, and bronze, 2 million. For Youth Olympic Games and Para-Olympic Games, kalahati po. 5 million for gold, 2.5 million po silver, and 1 million for bronze. Asian Games, Asian Winter Games, Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games, 2 million for gold, 1 million for silver, 400,000 for bronze. Asian Para Games and World Level Competition, again kalahati po. Gold, 1 million, 500,000 for silver, 200,000 for bronze. Asian Beach Games, Asian level competitions and qualifying competitions for world level and Asian level games, 500,000 for gold, 250 for silver, and 100 for bronze. Southeast Asian Games, gold is 300,000, silver is 150,000 pesos, and bronze is 80,000 pesos, 60,000 pesos. ASEAN Para Games, kalahati na naman po. Gold is 150, silver is 75, and 30 for bronze. Next slide, please. Athletes with disabilities, ito yung mga summary of the incentives from 2016 to 2023. Athletes received 39 million. 880,000, coaches 15,318,000, a total from 2016 to 2023, 55,198,000. Next slide, please. For regular athletes, from 2016 to 2023, athletes received 253,467,500. Coaches received 89,404,500. A total of 340,772 for the year 2016 to 2023. Recommendation, as shown in the above table, the two Senate bills seek to increase the current incentives of para sports and equal to the incentives of regular sports, and the addition of world-level competitions to be held annually. With this, the PSC strongly supports the increase in the incentives of para sports and the inclusion of world-level competitions in the list of events in the incentives po. Thank you po.
Salamat po, Chairman Bachman. May we now hear the position of the POC?
Mr. Chairman, we did pass a position paper, but just in summary, I'd like to say we do support the increase, and that's all from the Philippine Olympic Committee, Mr. Chairman.
Salamat, Sir Carl. May we now hear from Mr. Michael Barredo of the Philippine Olympic Committee. Of course, pabor kayo dito.
Una-una, maraming salamat, Senator and Chairman Bongo, sa inyong bill na pinopropose, yung 2116. And of course, kay Senator Estrada dun sa ating Bill 1442. Siguradong at yung pagkasabi rin ni Minority Senator Coco Pimentel na walang objection, at papasalamat ako sa Philippine Sports Commission at sa POC na wala rin silang objection. At palagay ko, malaking bagay ito sa aming mga para-athlete na siyempre nandito ngayon, nakikinig yata. And I hope that it's been since 2015, the bill was passed, 1069, the law was passed in 1699 back in 2015. So mahaba na rin, Mr. Chairman, na 8 years na. Sana mapasa ito kagad dahil meron tayong Asian Para Games itong dadating na October at Paralympic Games next year sa Paris. No? So definitely in our position paper we submitted together with the National Para Games as well. We're hoping that Mr. Chairman, wala siguro sana maging sagabal na maituloy na to once and for all sa kanan at sa ating mga para-athletes who definitely deserve this kind of recognition and incentives. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Thank you.
Salamat. May we now hear from the athletes of from the Paralympics group, no? From athletics, Mr. King James Reyes.
Sure.
Pangalan pa kay LeBron James yung pangalan. King James.
Bible po.
Go ahead, King James Reyes.
Sir, thank you. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa lahat po sumuporta po sa amin, lalo na po sa POC and sa PSC and then sa Estrada, then sila Sir Mike and Sir Bachman sa pagsuportan lalo na po sa amin sa para-atleta po. Thank you po.
Salamat, King James. May we now hear from Mr. Armandino.
Good afternoon po. Una po sa lahat, thank you po din po sa Commissioner, sa PSC, lalo na sa mga presidente ng Estrada na si Mr. Mike Barredo na binigyan talaga ng pansin ng mga makapansan ng mga atleta. Hindi na kagaya dati. Ngayon, medyo okay na talaga. And then, napasalamat din ako kay sir, na kayo rin ang nagtulong dito sa amin sa makapunta din kami, na-invite kami dito para alam namin kung anong talagang alam namin na maipasa talaga sa ibatas, na maibatas talaga sa dito. And then, maraming salamat din sa lahat po ng na sumusuportas ng para-athlete po. Thank you po.
Salamat, Mr. Armandinho. Meron na po some clarification, Mr. Carl Zambrano. Our COMSEC received a letter from your office, no, from your president, no, about some observation or
Chairman?
reservation.
Chairman, a while ago we sent a proposition. If you may allow me to just check if it's the same one, because we sent a disregard to the email a while ago.
Bago lang.
Yeah, we sent a disregard. I think around noon time about the first email that we sent.
So wala na to.
Yeah.
You have,
Yeah, I think in-acknowledge Chairman like an hour ago, 30 minutes ago. That.
so may mas latest na po, mas bago.
Yes, Chairman.
So wala na yung reservation.
I don't think it's a reservation. It's just stating that Olympics is just treated separately because the IOC just recognizes and supports the Paralympic side. Kasi totally different po yung IOC from the Paralympics, sir. Yun lang po yung statement namin dun.
Pero generally supportive
Yes,
sa
We fully support the increase, sir. But again, we're not the ones responsible. Sila Boss Mike talaga from PhilSpadas specifically on that side po talaga, sir.
Salamat po, sir. Thank you. May we now hear from Mr. Ernie Gawilan. Ito, parati itong nananalo sa swimming, di ba? Ilan ang medalya na panalunan mo, Ernie?
Your Honor, ano po, five medals po.
Kailan ka nanalo?
Ngayong ano po, nung nakarang Paragames lang po sa Cambodia.
Gold, ilang gold mo?
2 gold po at saka 2 silver at saka 1 bronze po.
Galing, congratulations.
Salamat.
Saan ka nagtitraining noon?
Dito po sa Phil Sports Complex po.
Saan probinsya ka nang galing? Saan ka
Davao City po.
Taga Davao ka? Ayun, kaya pala well-trained ka. Saan ka nag-training sa Davao?
Dati sir sa Matina, sa may Forest Hill.
Ilang beses mo lang kinross yung Samal Davao?
1 beses pa lang sir, pero bumalik ako pagka nung galing sa Davao, tapos nung natawid ko yung Samal Island, tapos bumalik din ako.
Kita mo, tinatawid lang niya from island to island, ha? Congrats.
Salamat.
May we now hear from Miss Angel May Autumn.
Ayun po, nagpapasalamat din po ako na if ever may isa batas pa ito, makatulong po talaga ito para sa mga para-atleta, lalo na po yung mga veterano na matagal na nagbibigay na karangalan sa ating bansa at saka sa mga susunod pa pong henerasyon na magbibigay pa ng mas madaming karangalan sa ating bansa. Ayun lang po at maraming salamat din po na bigyan niyo pong pansin na kaming mga PWD ay hindi lamang kakaiba kundi kami din po ay mga person with determination na kung saan na kahit meron kaming kapansanan, kaya po na pare-pareho lang din po kaming lumalaban sa buhay, sa araw-araw, na may isa lang din po kaming buhay. Tapos kami lang po ay nabigyan ng mga challenges na permanente, ngunit hindi po namin inisip na maging hadlang ito para sa na ipagmalaki yung bansa namin. Yun po.
Tama ka, habang may buhay, may pag-asa tayo.
Opo.
Kaya nandito kami to support you all na huwag kayong mawalan ng pag-asa.
Opo.
Kahit may kapansanan kayo, basta importante, buhay tayo. At tandaan natin, isang beses lang tayo dadaan sa mundong ito. Make the most out of it. And then, ngayon, mga atleta kayo, you can excel po sa inyong respective fields. Laban lang.
Opo.
Sa tayo Pilipino, lumalaban.
Salamat po.
Well, sir. Mr. President, kayo po, anong sinasalihan nyo noon? Sumali kayo before? Yes.
Ako, well, bago ako na-aksidente, ako ay isang football at basketball player sa eskwelang Verde. At yun mo sasayo. And nung na ako ay nabulag na, I was in athletics. Athletics.
Thank you, Sir Michael. May we now hear from Ariel Joseph Aligarbes.
Hi po.
Thank you po support sa amin government sports and PSC and Space Pada. Thank you lang po sa lahat sa aton support.
Other matters po tayo. Chairman Bachman, may konting tanong lang po ako. Lalong-lalo na po dito sa ating forthcoming Asian Games in China. Since sa ngayon, nakatutok po ang Pilipino dito sa ating FIBA World, no? Talaga once in a lifetime po ito, opportunity for us to watch FIBA World. Kaya iniinganyo ko po kayo sa lahat po ng Pilipino, tangkilikin po natin itong FIBA World. Alam mo, hindi na ito maulit dito in the next 30 years itong FIBA World. And of course, suportahan po natin ang Gilas Pilipinas. I think we are now ranked, 20 sa FIBA ranking at hindi po nalalayo. Pag nanalo tayo, mas tataas pa ang ating ranking. So excited po lahat. And then after the FIBA World, ang next naman po ay itong ito pong Asian Games, no? Upcoming Asian Games sa China. So September to October. Kumusta na po ang ating preparation? How do you ensure that the budget allocated for national athletes actually received and utilized for their needs? Ako naman, as your chairman sa Committee on Sports, full support naman po ako parati sa ating mga atleta, sa ating Sports Commission, sa ating POC.
For Asian Games po, we've been meeting already with CDM Richard Gomez for the past a month and a half already. So medyo planchado na yun, committee ng POC and PSC. Okay, so we're actually meeting on the flight details kasi ang pinagkaiba ng Asian Games na yun is 5 locations when they get to China. So we're looking at an airline that can accommodate yung mga atleta natin and to go to the different provinces po. All right. Now, for FIBA World also, this end of the month, in coordination with SBP and the FIBA LOC, we actually purchased tickets for all our athletes and will be distributing tickets to all our athletes. And we want to thank the MVP group and the FIBA LOC. Now we got a big discount for our Filipino athletes. Okay, and then they'll be also giving tickets also for the other games, which we'll give out to the athletes kung kailangan nila manood. Sorry if I can, Chairman. Since we're all here already na talking about support for the Filipino athlete, one way also we can actually support our athletes is to give them good facilities. Okay, right now it's budget season and we're preparing a budget to fix all the facilities of PSC from Phil Sports to Rizal Memorial and to Baguio. And hopefully we can get your support and actually fix all our facilities. Kasi ang tagal-tagal na hindi inaayos yung mga facilities ng PSC.
Chairman Bachman, how about yung New Clark City, no? Pinaganda po yun ng BCDA during the time of former President Duterte. Marami tayong pasilidad. In fact, nagamit po natin ito sa Southeast Asian Games where we won, no? Overall champion, number 1 po tayo. Nakita natin pag suportado ng gobyerno with the hometown crowd support, ay kaya po natin mag number 1 at mag-excel. Ano bang nyo rito sa New Clark City sa mga pasilidad na pwedeng mapakinabangan pa? Doon malayo nga siya, no? About 2 hours as traffic taron compare dito sa Maynila. And I'm sure priority nyo po yung Philippine Sports Commission, Field Sports Coliseum. Nakalaro ako doon last month. Maganda pa yung gym nyo doon. Konting ayos lang. Tagal na yan. I think 1985 pa yan. So, ibig sabihin, 38 years na po yung inyong gym dyan, Coliseum nyo.
Yes, sir. So, hindi lang basketball ang aayusin. I guess the key here also is the dormitories of the athletes. Konting ulan lang sa field sports, baha na sa loob ng mga dormitory.
Correct. Nung naglaro kami, umulan, after the game, parang nag-practice ba kami, no? Tapos, may tulo Ako pang tinamaan ng tulo mismo doon sa, kala ko aircon. May tulo talaga yung gym. Along the side, doon sa may bleachers banda, papasok kami sa...
Yes, sir. So,
baka nagparamdam yun, kaya...
Salamat po na.
Notice ko, no?
So really, yung PSC in all the facilities, we didn't have a preventive maintenance since 2019. And it's not something that the PSC board wants to change. Okay? And then inuuna namin yung dormitoryo ng mga atleta. Because if I take you there, na we all talk about honoring the athletes and, supporting the athletes, but if you see where they stay, maiiyak ka talaga na hindi tama. So, maayos na namin starting hopefully next year. For your question on the New Clark City, as of now po, walang control yung PSC on New Clark City. Pero napasa na sa second reading sa Congress na yung sponsor is Congressman Mike D of Youth and Sports na ito turn over yung New Clark City sa PSC. Okay, so if that happens, you have the third reading. Then after the third reading, it'll go to the Senate on passing it on to PSC, the New Clark City.
Ano yung mga pasilidad na ito turn over sa inyo ng New Clark City? Well, in connection with the national itong Philippine Sports Training Center, which was initially planned to be built, no? Dun sa Bataan. But I heard there are some changes along the way. Go ahead.
So they asked the advice of all the NSAs kasi they were supposed to build a facility in Bataan, pero medyo none of the NSAs would want to actually go there and train in Bataan. There's supposed to be a bridge from Naik Bataan to make the trip shorter, but that's maybe 5-8 years from now. So umayaw lahat ng mga NSA. So the plan is the budget for the Bataan Training Center, and hopefully if the New Clark City gets turned over to PSC, the logical choice is to use the budget there to actually build more facilities in New Clark City. The key there is maybe elite athletes can train in New Clark City at yung mga atleta na nag-aaral pa can actually train in Field Sports and Rizal Memorial.
So, baka pwede nyo rin pong ma-maximize itong National Academy of Sports. Nagdadala nito, I think it's DepEd naman, no? Pero I'm sure marami tayong mga potential young athletes na at the same time mga students. Baka nyo naman malaki pa yung yung space nila doon sa National Academy of Sports, magiging scholars naman po sila. Ito po yung eskwelahan na pwede sila mag-aral at the same time mag-training. Baka pwedeng matulungan pa lalo ng PSC na madagdagan yung mga estudyante na ma-encourage po natin doon. Well, you were saying na may mga estudyante kayo nagte-training dyan sa field sports kaya gusto nyong mapaganda pa. Anyway, ako naman po sa abot ng aking makakaya, susuporta po ako as your chairman sa Committee on Sports, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga atleta, yung kanilang boarding house nga, no? Dapat po'y komportable sila. Kawawa naman kung bigyan natin sila ng honor. They bring honor to our country. Bigyan naman natin sila ng honor din po sa pagbibigay sa kanila ng komportableng higaan, komportableng titirahan while they are training.
Salamat, Chair.
With that, thank you for attending this committee hearing. We thank our resource persons, no, for sharing valuable insights. We in the government, along with the help of the private sector, must work hand in hand for the advancement of our athletes. Let us ensure that their needs and welfare are well taken care of. Tuloy po natin isulong ang pagsulong sa mga grassroots sports development para mainganyo po ang mga kabataan to get into sports, stay away from drugs. Sports is also an avenue. We can instill discipline and teamwork to our youth. Importante po na itaguyod po natin ang mga programa at panukala na makaka-inspire sa ating mga kabataan at atleta. We must treat all athletes the same and without distinction and provide them with equal opportunities. Kaya na sinabi ko kanina, hindi nila kasalanan na pinanganak silang may kapansanan, yung iba po na disgrasya. Mahirap po maging disabled sa pamamagitan ng panukalang batas na ito, mabibigyan sila ng bagong pag-asa na hindi hadlang ang kapansanan para magdala ng karangalan para sa ating bansa. Ang mga incentives na natatanggap nila ay isa ring papakita ng pagpupugay sa kanilang husay at dedikasyon sa larangan ng sports. Iisa lang po ang ating bandila, kaya dapat na pantay-pantay ang pagtingin natin sa ating mga atleta anuman ang kanilang kalagayan. The committee will further study the bills and consult the stakeholders in the drafting of the committee report. This meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you.